recording. We'll stop the video portion and the recording of this meeting, and we're gonna walk through some proposals for management companies. So at the end of that, so it'll be a working session for the board. Okay, so for the financials, we've got 602,977 in assets. I'm also adding the delinquency, just so that we kind of have visibility into what that is. It's hovering at this. It hasn't changed in quite some time. And one account is over half of that. So I think overall, I think as an association, we're doing okay, but I just wanted to keep this front and center so that we're minding it and watching it going forward. And then for the budget comparison, what I did this time, since we're halfway, I did the first and second quarter and compared it to the year, and to try to make sure we were on track. And we buy our income, we're over, so we're definitely on target there. We are over in the gatehouse, but we knew that because we gave the guards raises, and we knew we were going to go over budget for that. We are a little bit over total expense, just a little bit. So we got to monitor that. So watch those expenses. Okay, and so we had a photo eye replacement for the gate that Alden had to repair. I think, Matt, you had contacted them with that. And then we're not sure, and Alden's not sure either, but we think that it could have had something to do with Brightview doing the mulch. But he also said that it was old. So I talked to Brightview, and what they did was they gave us, I think it was $150, almost $200. They didn't charge us for some irrigation. Just, instead of doing something formal, we just did that, right? So what we need to do is make a motion to approve this $299.
I'll second it.
Okay, Linda. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then still in financials, we have 4 delinquent accounts that require board approval to progress to the next stage, which is an attorney demand letter. So what I want to do is make sure that I don't want this to just sit. So I want to start adding this. So we need to approve this. So it's these 4 accounts. It's these 4 accounts, the delinquent accounts. Yeah.
And they already had the first notice.
Yeah, they've already gone through, all the lien, the intent to liens, the liens, and so now we're saying, okay, what they're going to do is get a letter from the attorney demanding the money, right? So it's the next step in the process.
I approve that.
So Matt approves, Linda seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good. Okay. So the next one we're going to talk about is grounds and maintenance, and the discussion topics are, we're going to talk about the tree trimming project. Matt's going to talk about some repairs we had at the park in the entrance. We're going to talk about tree maintenance with mailboxes. We've got to schedule the road sealant for the road in the park, and we're going to review the bids for the intake overflow inlets. So I'll open it up to the homeowners. Does anybody have any comments about these items? Nope. Okay, we'll move forward.
Catherine, you said last month that you're going to talk about the item first, then let the resident ask questions.
Pardon me?
Last month, you had said somebody questioned, why are you asking the resident now? You need to talk about the item, then let the resident ask questions. How can they ask the question if they don't know what you're going to discuss?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. This is what we're getting ready to discuss, Dan. I mean, the whole point is to let the homeowners tell us their thoughts on these items before we decision anything, so we can take your opinion under consideration.
But last month, you thought that was wrong. Somebody else proposed that. You want to talk
Okay,
about...
well, I don't recall that last month, and I would have said the same thing. I mean, the whole point, again, is to get your input before we talk about this. So
So, tree trimming.
Right,
What do
we're
you
talking
have
about that's right. And I put on here, we're gonna talk, I'm just gonna status that the project's completed. And I just wanna make sure that even though there's nothing we're gonna decision, I still want the homeowners to be able to talk about that item if they have something to say before we.
Yeah. So do we have anybody talking about tree trimming?
All right. So for the tree trimming, so the project completed. I think CLM did a nice job. They worked hard, you know, I think they did really well. And then we do have some trees that have some mistletoe in it. So what they're gonna do is wait until all the leaves fall and then you can really see them and we're gonna treat the tree. So we did have a homeowner specifically requested in Boca. But then when he saw it, he had noticed there might be a few more, and the best way to do it is let them all fall, and then we can treat them all at one time. So we'll do that in the winter.
I think they did a good job. I walked around with one of the residents a couple weeks ago, and I mean, we thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, so then for the electrical issue at the entrance.
We had, we had lightning hit the shack, the guardhouse, and it was only breakers that knocked out for the pond that people look out. I guess that's pond 4.
I don't know the numbers.
Yeah, knocked out I guess somebody complained about the fountain not being on.
Yeah.
So that was actually just a breaker. And then we went around and he showed me how to trip all the breakers. So we're good with that. If that ever goes off, just let the board know, we'll get it back on. And then the basketball backboard was down for almost 2 weeks. And we think some kids probably tried to loosen it up to lower it.
No, actually, I happened to be there when they fixed it.
Yeah.
And he thinks that it's kids hanging on it.
Hanging on? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These 2 of the bolts were loose when we were there.
Yeah, and I don't know how you stop, right?
No,
they're going to dunk it.
Yeah.
And he said it's weakening. We got years to go, but he's seeing where it's, you know, so if we see somebody, we can tell them not to, but I don't know how you're going to not.
And I think I didn't look, but I think they put a screw on the back.
They did.
So
They did exactly what you told them to do. And they did the other one too, even though it was out. So it shouldn't slide again. It'll,
So that was easy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so one of the things that, you know, you guys know that Wright and I had a meeting with Tom Slayton, the attorney, that talked about all the the trees and who's responsible for what. And part of that, and he wrote a nice document about it that's on the website. But one of the things that the HOA is responsible for is that we need to cut the roots that go under and mess up mailboxes. And as a courtesy in doing that, he said, you know, you're not going to cut the root and then leave a crooked mailbox, which is perfect. So what we need to do is we're going to need to cut the roots and straighten mailboxes. So we're going to have to start a project that goes around. We can't paint or take over maintenance of a mailbox, but what we can do is if a tree knocks it over, which I think is great because I've seen a lot of mailboxes that are bad and it is for the tree, and I'm all about things that the HOA can do. But we're going to have to get a handle on, I think we're going to have an initial hit with that, right? To get them all straightened up, figure out what that's going to take us to do, and then maybe add that to our annual projects. Like every year, just at one certain time of year, just do a walkthrough who needs straightening, and just, you know, do it like we do our sidewalk grindings or whatever, you know, we do, right, with that. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. We're gonna, you know, have to start planning that and getting, you know, prices and scope on it and everything. But I wanted to let everybody know that we would be doing that. And it was part of that exercise that we went through with Tom. And it's in that frequently asked question document that he wrote. And then the other thing is when we did the road work, the park road needed repairing. It was dented, like it almost had like potholes in it. So they fixed that during that process, but they couldn't seal because they had just fixed it and they said it needed like 6 months. Well, that 6 months time is up. I can't believe it. It seems like yesterday we were just doing the road thing, right? But it's time. So we're going to need to schedule sealing the roads for that. So, I mean, I'll probably early August. They said we can't drive on it for 2 days. I don't think that's a big hardship, you know, for people. It'll just be blocked off. and then you can enter through the water's edge, you know, if you needed to. Yeah, but there's just no drive-in on it for 48 hours.
Park.
It's just for the park road, yeah. I don't know if you remember, but at the entrance of the park road was really bad. It was, yeah, it was, yeah. And so they fixed it. So we'll get that sealant done. Okay, so for the overflow inlets, first of all, thank you, Matt, because you went through, identified the scope, right? So you want to tell us what happened with the county?
Well,
Your
the
conversation.
county owns the pond. where
The
the
front
exit,
pond,
but
the
front
Avalon
pond,
one,
right.
yes.
I was talking to, I don't remember the guy's name. I was talking to him today. He goes, you guys can paint it, but you really don't have to. That's our deal.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, we'll get around to it. It's not going to happen this year. But he goes, you can paint it. But he goes, there's no reason to paint it. He goes, you guys put a aerator in that pond and we appreciate it.
Right.
And he goes, we'll get to it when we get to it.
So
So-
do we want to take it out of scope, or you think we should just keep it
I
in
don't
our
know.
scope?
My feeling is if they're going to paint it eventually, I really didn't look at it that close. But
It's just-
Okay,
it could
well,
be a long time.
it could be,
Yeah,
but I
and
mean,
so
but
one of the
that's what
things
we pay
that,
taxes for, right?
yeah, but one of the things that was driving this project is we had some people in Water's Edge complain about the aesthetics of one that was over there. I haven't had anybody in Avalon complain, but I'm afraid that if we don't do it, then all of a sudden we're, oh, you know what, excuse me, I have to admit some people into the meeting. Okay. If we don't do it, you know, then they're going to complain and we've missed that window.
But I guess my feeling is the county owns it,
Okay.
so let the county do it. And if people want to complain, they should. I mean, I get the phone number and email address of the guy that said he
Okay.
would paint it. That's my feeling. But that's
Yeah, I'm on
and
the
that's
fence.
kinda what
I'm
That's what
good.
he said to me. He was very, it's like, you can paint it if you want. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
And he didn't care what type of paint we used.
yeah.
So.
Rai, do you have any feelings about this?
Hello? Yeah, no, I'm okay.
You're good with it? Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll take out the Avalon, we'll take that scope out of scope. Okay, so we know that it's going to be less. Can we go ahead and pick one of these bids? We got the information back from Alden. I sent you, you guys asked if it was going to be pressure washed and the type of paint, and I sent that over.
Yeah. It was all the same. And the same thing.
Right. Just be nice to get it painted. and done.
Wow. Alden's thing was, it's $965 and we painted them all.
And it's going to be less than that because we'll take out the Avalon one out of
Well,
scope. So I'm
I-
all about that one personally.
I would, personally, I'll back up what I said. I would go with Alden and have them paint them all.
Oh, even the county one?
Why not? Just, they're
Okay.
half the price of everybody else.
I know. And I think that's why we were asking if he was going to pressure wash and the type
Then
of
Avalon
paint.
had, and the people in Avalon had to see if backs up to that paint.
Hey, Raid, did you see the email about the type of paint that they were using?
Yeah, the type is okay. But, do we need to know also the brand?
I don't think so. I don't know. Does that matter? I mean,
I mean, because other contractors, they mentioned what brand, but they did not. So, and there are cheap and there are expensive brands.
oh, I see. Okay, so we want the brand, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's better if they mention what brand they are using.
So can we approve it and ask Alden to use, like, if it's Sherwin-Williams that you're saying, right, it's like a better paint, just to tell them to use that paint when they paint it?
Well, I
You
think
wanna
what
do
we
it
could
that way?
do is maybe approve it and then ask them what the paint is. And if it's not something that you guys like, then we won't tell them to approve it, and we'll come back to the table.
Right,
But if
yeah,
it's something we accept, then we've already approved it and can move on. You want to do
Yeah, I
that?
don't know paints. I hope, Ryan, you know paints? I don't know paints.
Yeah, I have some idea about paint. So
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. The main thing, what type of painting they are using, which is a good paint, good type, and it is approved. So that's fine.
Okay. So can I have a motion to approve Alden for 965, contingent on the type of paint?
Is it Friday going to do it?
Yeah, right. Do you want to motion that?
Yes, I motion that.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Linda. All in favor? Aye.
Right.
Okay, now, almost done. Oops. Hold on just a minute. My- Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the next one is, okay, so Donna Orlowski has resigned from the board, but we need to, and so we need to appoint a board treasurer. And I think Raid, you're up for that one. So I'll motion that Raid is treasurer.
I'll second
Matt will second. All in favor?
Aye.
that. Aye.
And then we talked about, we're not going to appoint the seat right now. We have a couple people interested. So we're just going to talk about that for a little bit and maybe next month make a decision on that.
Good.
Okay, and so we also are losing, oh, and I forgot to put Sue on here. We lost Mike Orlowski from the ARB, and we're also losing Sue because she's moving, and I forgot to put her name on here. But I checked in our documents, and we need, our ARB can't be less than 3, and so we're at 3 right now, so we're okay. I would feel better if we had, you know, yeah, or 5, an odd number, but we're in compliance for now. So, so we'll see about what we're gonna do with that. Also, Turtle Creek will be replacing the management company in September. The Leland Turtle Creek contract will not be renewed. And we're also, one of the things that I think we need to do, we've had a homeowner bring this up, we need to send a letter to Pulte and just remind the homeowners as they sell those houses that there's an easement along our wall and that they need to be careful about what they put on there, you know, that whatever that setback is, they need to stay, you know, yeah, exactly. And just not put something that could damage our wall. And, you know, just a little reminder that, hey, we're here and don't mess with our wall. Right.
Right.
Yeah, along that whole area. So. Okay, so now I will open it up to the homeowners. Does anybody have any comments?
Why are you replacing Leland?
Pardon me?
Why are you replacing Leland Management?
It's just been a joint decision that we have. The contract is from 2008, and we would need to bid it out anyway. And so we're going to do that. And Leland isn't interested in bidding that, so we're moving forward.
So Leland is dropping us, basically.
Leland's dropping us. What? Yeah. Okay. Fine. Mm-hmm. Does anybody have anything else?
It's Paul. May I speak?
Of course, Paul. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. The Pulte issue with the wall, use my experience. Very often I see that when a wall is built between two communities, the developer neglects to leave an easement and assign maintenance responsibilities for the wall. And then years into the thing, everybody looks around and wonders who's responsible for maintaining the wall. And it's either the association or the individual lot owners. If you're going to be talking to Pulte about that, you might want to have a look at their documents and see who's going to be maintaining that wall and deal with that issue now. And if it's not spelled out, you may want to require them to, or demand that they put something in their documents and make sure their association has responsibility and an easement to go onto the lots to maintain the wall that they're putting up.
Awesome. Yes, thank you, Paul.
Okay, and as long as I have it,
You always add more work, but it always makes sense.
yeah, it's something that I see quite often or saw quite often in my practice. The other point that I would like to make is I am pleased to see that there is finally landscaping on the and grass, that sod that was laid on that house that is taken forever to build on Pond 3 on Emerald Chase Drive. However, when they laid the sod yesterday, I noticed that a whole lot of plastic trash went into the retention pond yesterday as well. And it may be time to finally send them a note to pick up the trash and take it out of the pond because it's coming from them. Today was trash pickup day, so the barrels went out today, so the trash didn't get in there from the trucks going around dumping and leaving loose trash. It was strictly from them and in the process of putting down the sod. And all the plastic went right in from their work into the pond today or yesterday.
Okay. Okay. I've got a note for that. Okay, does anybody have anything else?
This is Nancy Armandroid. I was just wondering why we would have lost Donna, who is very good for the board with all of her knowledge, and Mike. It seems kind of odd that they would have left.
Yeah, and I can't speak to why they have left. I'm not going to speak to that. That's up to them.
And at the same time, and now our management company is leaving.
That's right.
It just seems kind of strange that all of this is happening.
It's
Yeah, I
a
don't know,
coincidence more than
yeah.
anything.
I don't know what to say, so always go through this. Have any other comments or questions?
Yes, I have one, Catherine. I haven't noticed the LED lighting on the bubbling water up in front. Is that working yet?
Yeah, well, okay, so when it first got installed, the entrance one was defective. So we just had them both. So we had the exit one off. We had them on, and then they've been on until yesterday. We got the software loaded on our phone so that we could do it. And I think when we were playing with it during the day, I don't think he set it right on the exit side. So the entrance side looks great, but we turned that off because we didn't want one on and one off. So they're working. It's just a matter of turning it on and
Hopefully before the weekend we have that.
exactly, exactly. Does anybody else have any comments, questions?
Can you just give me an idea of when the security comes through? Because I haven't noticed anybody.
I'm sorry,
The security company.
the new one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so what we're gonna do is let the new management company work through all the RFP process for that. So it's gonna be the first thing they work on.
Not have a
Have
security?
it in this year.
Are you saying we don't have a security company in place now?
Oh, are you talking about the patrol or the gatehouse security?
The patrol.
Oh, okay, well, we have that. They come every night. They come twice a night, every night.
What's the hours?
It's sporadic.
The other night,
It's anytime between, I think it's 1 a.m. and 6 a.m., something like
the other
that.
morning, I know it was 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I've seen them at 4
My ring
before.
picked them up at 2:30.
Oh, did it?
just
Okay,
creeping down
yeah.
the street.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are all aware of it, but we've had 2 daytime robberies within a mile of Turtle Creek. One of them was actually Pulte right behind us. 2 in the afternoon, they broke in. Don't you think it would be feasible to have these guys varying hours? There is crime committed during the day.
Right now, we don't have that, Dan.
Can't we set it up for varying hours?
And not right now. We can look at changing our patrol service in next year for the new budget, but right now, we have to stay where we are.
When will the new management company start?
We don't know yet, Nancy. We're after this meeting, like I said, we're going to stop the video and the recording of this meeting, and we're going to work through the RFPs.
Okay, so like if somebody's usually pays their bill in advance, it's probably best to wait.
We'll let you know what, yeah, no, we'll handle all that and direct you accordingly. Just continue as you normally would.
All right, because our next payment would be October,
That's right.
so we probably shouldn't pay that, or we probably should.
No, Leland's gonna stay with us and the two.
You need
the
to
two
pay
companies
it.
will
You need to
merge.
pay it until you're
Yep.
told to pay it somewhere else.
Okay, because I know last time, you know, there was some issues, so I just
Well, that was
wanted
with
to be sure.
Avalon. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's very disappointing that Donna left, because I
It
think she
is
was a
very
big
disappointing.
asset.
I couldn't agree with you more.
We all agree with that.
That's
Yeah,
right.
great job.
And Mike too. Absolutely.
They'll be missed.
Okay, so we will end the homeowner forum. If nobody else has any questions?
Nope.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is discontinue the video. I'm going to stop recording this meeting. Maria, you are, free to go as well while we go through this process. I'm taking this off of video and recording to respect the confidentiality of the companies that have submitted their proposals.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And so anyone else, you're welcome to stay on, or you can go however you want to handle it. So what I'm gonna do is come here. This thing just keeps.